The Sahara Desert is the world's largest hot desert and the third largest desert behind Antarctica and the Arctic. Located in North Africa, it covers large sections of the continent covering 9,200,000 square kilometers, which is comparable to the area of China or the US. If you're joining us on our Sahara Desert trek or just want to find out some interesting facts about the Sahara, then keep reading to fuel your wanderlust. Brief history of Sahara. The Sahara has not always been a desert. After the last ice age, the landscape was left as dry and barren as it is today. However, about 10,500 years ago, a sudden onset of monsoon rains transformed the uninhabitable desert into a habitable savanna. As radiocarbon-dated human and animal remains have proven to scientists, the humans and animals living in the Nile River Valley were able to expand out into the savanna. Over the next several hundred years, the rains continued, and human settlements grew and even introduced domesticated livestock such as goats and sheep. Approximately 7,300 years ago, the rains began to retreat, and by 5,500 years ago, the human population had returned to the Nile River Valley. Facts about Sahara Desert. How hot is the Sahara Desert? The Sahara is the hottest desert in the world, with one of the harshest climates. The average annual temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, whilst the hottest temperature ever recorded was 58 degrees Celsius. The area receives little rainfall. In fact, half of the Sahara Desert receives less than 1 inch of rain every year. Despite many thinking of the Sahara as a constantly hot climate, temperatures drop dramatically at night, due to the lack of humidity, and can reach lows of 6 degrees Celsius. Snow falls regularly on several mountain ranges, but nowhere else in the Sahara. How big is the Sahara Desert? The Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert in the world, and the third largest overall after the Antarctica and the Arctic. The Sahara Desert covers an incredible 9.2 million square kilometers, which is almost the same size as China, and a total of 8% of the Earth's land area. What can be found in the Sahara Desert? The Sahara is much more than just sand. In fact, the majority of the Sahara is made up of barren, rocky plateaus, as well as salt flats, sand dunes, mountains and dry valleys. The rivers and streams found in the Sahara are all seasonal, apart from the River Nile. There are over 20 lakes in the Sahara, most of which are saltwater lakes. Lake Chad is the only freshwater lake in the desert. The highest peak in the Sahara is Emi Koussi, 3,415 meters, a volcano located in Tibesti Mountains, Chad. Other mountain ranges in the area include the Air Mountains, Saharan Atlas, Adra des Ifaras, Hoggar Mountains, Tibesti Mountains, and the Red Sea Hills. How big are the sand dunes in the Sahara? In east-central Algeria lies the Issaouane en Tefernine Sand Sea, with sand dunes as high as 450 meters, some of the tallest in the world. The largest dunes in Morocco are the Erg Chagaga, with some dunes reaching a massive 300 meters. The Chagaga dunes are hard to reach, with access only permitted by 4x4, camel or foot. These dunes are a relatively untouched part of the Sahara and the area we explore on our Sahara Desert trek. Has the Sahara Desert changed over the years? The Sahara has changed immensely. It used to be lush and green, home to a variety of plants and animals. The change came approximately 5,000 years ago, due to a gradual change in the tilt of the Earth. It is thought that the Sahara Desert will become green again at some point in the future. Does anyone live in the Sahara Desert? The word Bedouin is derived from the Arabic Badawi, meaning desert dweller. These nomadic peoples move around the desert during their migrations around North Africa and the Middle East, making tent camps near natural resources depending on the season and the community's needs. Bedouin nomads are known for herding traditions, as well as their rich history of oral poetry. You might get the chance to meet some nomads yourself during a Sahara trek. How hot is the Sahara Desert? The record high temperature of the Sahara was 136 degrees Fahrenheit. On September 13, 1922, the Sahara's record high temperature was recorded at 136 degrees Fahrenheit in El Azizia, Libya. Despite what this might suggest, the desert is more livable than you might think. In fact, the forecast temperature for our trip next week is just around 22 degrees Celsius. Many dinosaur fossils have been found in the Sahara. As you would imagine, the desert is full of archaeological and paleontological wonders. Along with 6,000-year-old megalithic stone circles and Saharan rock paintings, unique dinosaur fossils have been found by scientists. As recently as last year, the fossilized remains of an 80-million-year-old dinosaur were found in a Saharan oasis. Named the Mansurosaurus shahini, the dinosaur is thought to have been 33 feet long and weighed 5.5 tons. Emi Kusi volcano is the highest point in the Sahara at 3,415 meters. Emi Kusi is a shield volcano that sits in the Tibesti Mountains of northern Chad. The volcano has various lava domes, cinder cones, lava flows and maars visible on its outer flanks, which are evidence of its active history. Today, fumaroles sit at its southern base, and hot springs heat waters up to 37 degrees Celsius, perfect for a relaxing dip. It's not all dry. There are over 20 lakes in the Sahara. All of these are saltwater lakes, except for Lake Chad, which is the only freshwater lake in the desert. There are also over 90 oases in the Sahara. But as they're spread out over 3.6 million miles, we wouldn't recommend setting out in search of water. Animal life in the Sahara Desert. The desert might be a tough environment for humans to inhabit, but many animals do live here. Camels are the main animals you will see in the Sahara, largely due to their use by humans. Approximately 70 different animal species live in the Sahara. Mammal species include those that can survive for an extended period without water intake, such as the fennec fox, pale fox, African wild dog, Saharan cheetah, and the Dorcas gazelle. The addax, a species of white antelope, is known to survive for as long as a year without drinking water. Several species of lizards, snakes, and scorpions also live in the desert. There are even desert crocodiles in parts of Mauritania and Chad. Saharan birds include the African silverbill and the black-throated firefinch. The Berbers still inhabit much of the Sahara, and the only domesticated animals seen in the desert are camels and goats.